Hello students. Today we are going to create a shop where you can spend your accumulated goldens. It will appear on the screen after completing a level. We will be given the option to upgrade selected characteristics. Upgrades will be saved for the entire remaining game. So, let's recall where we left off. Let's go to the Game Init branch and find the place where the timer ends and a congratulations message appears on the screen. Let's continue this chain. Let's add a sleep block. Set a delay of 3 seconds. After that, let's remove the congratulatory text from the screen. We'll need to frequently check if it worked, and to avoid waiting a full minute each time, let's reduce the timer to 5 seconds. Now, if we run the game, we'll see that the text doesn't disappear from the screen after 3 seconds. Let's figure out why this is happening. The problem lies in this condition. It is formulated in such a way that after the timer ends, the code chain continues to execute. We check 10 times per second what the timer is, and each time the timer equals 0, so we execute the code chain on the false channel every time. And 10 times per second, text congratulating the player is added to the screen. This is an endless process, so no matter how many times we remove the text from the screen, we won't see any results. To test my theory, we can add a bit of randomness to the coordinates for the text to appear. Now we know exactly what the problem is. How do we limit the execution of this code chain to just one time? The simplest option is to use a variable, isPlay. Let's add another check. A block, if true. Connect a getter to it. Leave the object field empty. Specify the variable isPlay. As soon as the timer equals 0, this variable will be assigned a false value, and beyond this check, the signal simply won't go. Let's check what we've achieved. The text appears for 3 seconds, then disappears. Excellent. We can remove the randomness from the coordinates. Now, when there's nothing unnecessary on the screen, we can add the shop window. Let's go to the viewport and add some new objects. Create a dummy in the form of a cube. Raise it half a meter above and move it off screen. Let's call the dummy shop. Put a 3D cursor in it. And create a plane. Shape it into a rectangle. Apply scaling. And rename it to shop background. Create a material with the same name. Choose a color. Add another plane. Lift it 10 centimeters above the background. Name it Button Fire Rate. Let's immediately create a material with the same name and switch to the shader editor. Change the shader to Armory PBR. From the Textures folder, add a file named Bonus Fire Rate. The files for download are always available via the link in the description. After the texture block, add a mix color block. And connect the alpha channel from the texture to the mix factor. Choose 2 colors. The first will be the background. The second color will paint the icon. Turn the emission channel up to 1. Looks like everything's set with the material. Duplicate the obtained object 3 times. Arrange them in a line on our background. Rename them. The second button will be called Button Speed. Rename the third one to Button Damage. And the last one to Button Life. Now let's change the materials. Select the second button. Copy the material. Name it the same as the button speed. On the texture block, click the Open button and choose the bonus speed file. The image should change to a shoe. Move on to the third button. Select it. Copy the material, change the material name to button damage. Specify the path to the damage bonus file. The last button, number 4. Same actions. Just specify the path to the heart file with the heart icon. Now let's parent all 4 buttons with backgrounds to the dummy. Select all 5 objects, then select the dummy. Press Ctrl P and choose Object. Now, if we move the dummy, the entire menu assembled will move with it. Now, after we remove the congratulatory text from the screen, we'll simply set a new menu in the center of the screen. Let's do this using the Set Object Location block. In the Object field, specify the dummy named Shop. The coordinates on the X and Y axis are 0. In the Z axis, we'll enter 0.5 to raise the menu above the ground. And to prevent the player from interfering, let's make it invisible. Before the menu appears, insert a Set Object Visible block. The visible checkbox should be unchecked. Excellent. Everything works. Now we need to set up the response to button clicks. To do this, let's create a new logical branch. Let's call it Shop Menu and immediately attach it to the ground object. To handle button clicks, we need a mouse block in started mode with the left mouse button selected. And also a Get Cursor Location block. Now let's add a Raycast Object block. This block checks the intersection of coordinates on the X and Y channels with the target object. As the target, let's choose button number 1. Named Button Fire Rate. In the camera field, it's essential to select the camera from which the intersection will be registered. So, left mouse button clicks will activate the check, and with the Get Cursor Location block, we'll get the cursor coordinates at the time of clicking. If the cursor is above the button when clicked, then the true channel triggers. If clicked outside the button, then the false channel triggers. Just to be sure, let's check if this is actually the case. Connect print blocks to both outputs. When the true channel triggers, we'll print the message button pressed to the console. And when the false channel triggers, we'll print miss to the console. Now we see that only when button number 1 is clicked, the message button pressed is displayed. Clicking anywhere else gives the miss message. Moving on, we'll need 5 of these blocks. To check the 4 buttons and the background, let's arrange them vertically. Each subsequent block is connected to the false channel of the previous block. This means the next check will only be performed if the previous checks and the current one return false. Now carefully change the target objects in all blocks except the first one. In the last block, choose the background of the shop menu. Also, don't forget to connect cursor coordinates to all blocks. Now, for each true channel, let's connect a console output with the name of the target object. In other words, when buttons are clicked, the name of the clicked button will be printed to the console. In the last true channel, we'll print background name. Shop background. Clicks on the background won't yield any results, but we should register them. And now, on the last check, connect a console output to the false channel with the message exit. If none of the checks return true, it means we clicked outside the shop, and this will signal exiting the menu. This way, we don't need another button specifically for exiting. Let's check all buttons for activation. Also, let's make sure that clicking outside the menu triggers the exit chain. The groundwork is done. And to prevent fuses from blowing, let's take a break. In the next lesson, we'll write the logic for purchases. Don't get bored. Bye for now.